I used to think that offering more services would make me more money, but it actually did the exact opposite. Most people who try to start an agency never get their first real client, and it's almost never because they don't have the skills or the time or the right idea. It's because of the offer that they built. They sit down and they try to figure out what to sell, and they try to fit everything that they could possibly do onto one page: websites, ads, social media, SEO, email marketing, sometimes 8 or 10 different services all in one offer. And then they wonder why nobody's buyer. Well, here's the part that nobody tells you. Nobody walks up to a house and just asks to buy the kitchen. Instead, they walk in through the front door. Then they take a look around and they see what else there is. If you've been watching this channel for a while, then you've heard me talk about the front door method before. Well, today I'm going to show you the version that actually turns one client into $1,000 a month in recurring revenue, not the version that just gets you in the front door. I learned this the hard way running my second agency back in 2017. I had an offer page with something like 11 different services on it. Each one had a full paragraph explaining exactly what it did. Now, I thought the page looked great. It took me like 3 weeks to build. But in the first 60 days of launching that page, it made me exactly $0. Not one client signed up, not one inquiry, not even one reply. So one Saturday morning, sat down at my kitchen table and I deleted everything except for one service, just one single service, the simplest one I had: reviews. And I changed nothing else. It was the same me with the same skills, the same traffic going to the site. I just stopped trying to sell the entire house. And in the next 30 days, that same page signed 7 clients. I've built 3 different 7-figure agencies, worked with over 1,500 small businesses, run thousands of campaigns, and today I do it all as a one-person agency with 0 employees. I'm actually recording this from a park on a road trip across the country with the family right now. The agency is running just fine while we're out here, which is the whole point of this system. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 1-door, 2-room setup that turns a $297 a month client into a $1,191 a month client over the course of about 6 months. I'll show you the exact service to lead with, the 2 services to add inside of the house, and the line that makes clients almost impossible to cancel once all 3 are running. I call this the front door method. So here's how most beginners get this wrong. They sit down and they build their offer and they think that more options means more chances to get hired. So they list 8 services or 12 services, sometimes 15 services. Each service gets its own paragraph, its own price, its own little pitch. The page looks impressive, but it only looks impressive to other agency owners. To a business owner who's reading this page for the first time, the page looks like a menu at a restaurant that they've never been to, in a language they don't understand. There's a real psychology principle behind this. It's called the paradox of choice. See, when you give someone too many options, they don't pick the best one. In fact, they don't pick any at all. They just close the tab and move on. So if you're watching this and you've got a website right now with 5 or more services listed on it, that page is probably losing you clients every single week and you don't even know it. So here's what works instead. You sell one thing, just one single thing, the simplest, cheapest, easiest thing that you offer. That one thing is your front door. It's what gets the client inside. It gets you that first sale. It gets the relationship started. Once they're inside the house, meaning once they're a paying client and the first service starts to produce real results, that's when you start showing them the kitchen and the living room. These are service 2. Service 3, but not until they've actually walked through the front door. Think about how this works in real life. People go to a place usually for one specific reason: one store, one restaurant, one thing they wanted. But once they're there, they end up doing 5 other things that they didn't plan to do. They notice the place next door, they grab a coffee, they buy something on the way out. The location doesn't try to sell them on staying. Once they're inside, the place does that automatically. That's exactly what your agency offer should look like. So here's the system. 1 door, 2 rooms, and the order matters more than the services themselves. We'll go through each one and I'll show you what to set up, what to charge, and the order to introduce them in. But before we do, you need to understand why this works as a fix-it job, because this is the part that makes the whole model click. You are simply going in there, installing a system, and getting paid. Just like a lawn guy mows the lawn, a window washer cleans the windows, a plumber installs a sink, you're the fix-it guy or fix-it girl. You walk in, fix one specific thing, and they pay you every month to keep it fixed. The only difference is your job gives you a couple of unfair advantages, like you get to work from a laptop, meaning a kitchen table, a coffee shop, a hotel room, middle of the forest, wherever. And you don't get dirty. Unlike the lawn guy who's got to drive back every week, or the window washer who has to keep coming back to clean the same windows over and over, you install the system one time, and then it just keeps working, week after week, month after month. So that's the front door. This is the only thing that you sell to get the client in. Just this, nothing else. The service that you sell is automated Google reviews. Almost every local business needs more reviews. They know that they need them, they just don't have a system to ask their customers consistently. So you set up a system that automatically asks for them after every job. Plumber finishes a job and the system sends the request. A dentist finishes an appointment, system sends a text. Basically, same template, same direct Google review link every time. And this is the part that surprised me the first time I set it up. I thought this was going to be some giant, complicated automation build, but it wasn't. You paste in the client's Google review link, you write one short message, you hit save, and the system runs in the background every day after that. The whole setup takes maybe 10 minutes per client. Now, most people overcomplicate the message, so don't. Here's exactly what to say. Hi, first name, thanks for choosing business name. If you have 30 seconds, would you mind leaving us a quick review? It really helps us out. Then you insert the Google review link. Save it, the system runs, the review comes in, the client pays you $297 a month for it. That's the entire front door. You don't pitch the kitchen yet, you don't pitch the living room, you don't even mention that they exist. The whole sale is just the front door. To put this in another way, you're not trying to marry the client on the first date. You're just trying to get invited back inside. Now, after about 60 to 90 days of their review system running, the client's going to see their phone ringing more than it used to. They're going to see their Google ranking moved up because the new reviews keep coming in. They're showing up in the map pack, those top 3 results that get most of the calls. This means their phone is ringing and they start to notice. So this is the moment you walk them into the kitchen. The kitchen is where the money actually gets made. Now, in the agency version, the kitchen is the AI receptionist. I mean, just think about how unfair this gets if you don't fix it. Your client paid for reviews. Their reviews worked. Their Google ranking moved up. Their phone finally rings more often. And then they miss the phone call because they're under a sink or in an exam room or on a job site, which means the lead that they just paid to attract is now calling their competitor 3 listings down on Google. The AI receptionist fixes that. It answers every call that your client doesn't answer. It picks up, it sounds like a real person. It qualifies the caller and answers their questions and books the appointment directly into your client's calendar. So now your client isn't just getting more calls, they're actually capturing those calls, turning them into clients and booked appointments. So you add this service, same software, same dashboard, takes about 10 minutes to set up. Their monthly bill now goes from $297 to $694 per month. Then, a few months later, you walk them into the living room. The living room is where everything happens. In the agency version, the living room is a revenue website. See, by now, your client has more reviews, and they've got a phone that's getting answered 24/7, but their existing website looks like it was built in 2014. Doesn't have a clickable phone number on mobile, the contact form goes to an email address that nobody checks, customers who land on it leave. So you build them a clean, simple website that captures leads instantly and sends them to a client's phone as a text message. Form gets filled out, chat widget message, all of that shows up on the client's phone in real time. Same software again, same dashboard, but it adds another $497 a month to your bottom line. Their bill is now $1,191 a month. And at this point, the whole house is connected. The reviews bring in attention, the AI receptionist captures the calls, the website catches the people who don't call. The business has a system working even when the owner isn't, and that's the front door method. 1 door, 2 rooms. Now, I need to be straight with you about the part that most people worry about. For example, what if a client wants just the front door and nothing else? What if they say no when I try to walk them into the kitchen? What if they cancel? Well, here's what I wish someone had told me earlier. The clients that you're worried about mostly don't exist when the order is right. See, the reason that most agency owners get rejected when they try to upsell isn't because the client doesn't want more services. It's because they tried to sell the kitchen on day 1 before that client ever walked through that front door. When you do it the right way, front door first, then kitchen 60 to 90 days later, then living room a few months after that, the client almost never says no. By the time that you bring up that second service, they've already seen that the first one works, so they trust you. They've been paying you on time for months. And the conversation isn't, should I buy another service? It's, of course, can you set that up now? And here's the kicker. Once all 3 services are running, they almost never cancel. Because canceling now means losing their reviews and losing their call coverage and losing their lead capturing website all at once. At this point, canceling means tearing the whole system back out of their business. So it's painful to leave, so they don't. Let's run the math on this real quick. 10 clients at $297 a month, $2,970 in recurring revenue. 10 clients at $1,191 a month, and what they end up paying after 6 to 12 months of stacking is $11,910 a month. Same 10 clients, but 2 additional rooms, about 30 minutes of total setup time per client across all 3 services. That's the part that most beginners miss. You don't need more clients. You need bigger rooms. And honestly, this is the part that I wish existed back when I started. Because back in 2017, with that second agency, when I built that 11 service disaster page, I was staring at a blank dashboard, trying to figure all of this out myself. The reviews, the receptionist, the website templates, all of it. And I had to build every single piece from scratch. Some of the technology didn't even exist yet, like the AI receptionist. The reason that I put together my agency OS was so that you don't have to go through that. Everything that I just walked you through is already built inside the software I use. It's called High Level, the link's in the description below this video, and it's going to give you an extended free trial plus my full agency OS. The pre-built front door automation, the kitchen AI receptionist, the living room website templates, all of it ready to install in one click. You don't start staring at an empty dashboard wondering what to do first. You start with the same setup that's running in over 1,500 agencies right now. So tap the link below this video and the trial starts immediately. Okay, let's keep going. 3 warnings before you run with this. Warning 1, you're going to be tempted to lead with 2 services on day 1. You'll think, if 1 front door is good, 2 front doors must be better. Well, it isn't. The whole reason this works is because the first sale is so simple the client can't say no. 2 doors is 2 decisions, which is a menu, which is paradox of choice all over again. So remember, 1 door, 1 sale, always. Warning 2, you're going to be tempted to upsell too early. A new client signs up for the front door, sees the positive reviews come in, and you immediately try to walk them into the kitchen. Again, don't do this. The flywheel needs at least 60 to 90 days to build enough proof that the client trusts you. If you upsell in week 3, you're going to get rejected, and you'll think that the model doesn't work. Well, the model works. You just opened the second door before the first one had earned that right to do so. Warning 3, you're going to be tempted to add a 4th or a 5th room. The basement, the backyard, the garage. Don't do this. 3 rooms is the whole house. 3 services is the entire stack. The clients who pay you $1,191 a month, they don't want a 4th service from you, at least not yet. They want the 3 that you already installed to keep working. Adding more services isn't growth. It's the same trap that made you put 11 services on your offer page in the first place. So once the front door method is running and your first client has all 3 rooms installed, the next question then becomes, how do you actually find and sign that first client without spending hours on cold messages and without sounding like every other single agency out there, sliding into their DMs? Because all of the best systems in the world don't matter if you don't have someone to actually install them for. If you want to start with the same setup that I just walked you through, the high-level link is in the description below this video. Extended trial, agency OS templates, ready to install, all of it down there. And if you want the full step-by-step system on how to build and scale a simple AI agency from scratch, including picking a niche and finding your first clients and stacking services, scaling past 10K a month, I put together a free masterclass that walks you through the whole thing. I've got that linked up right here. So feel free to tap or click that now. See you in there in just a second.